Hey everyone, welcome back to Cretaceous Cast. Sorry it's been a while, as always, but hey, I got to work on dinosaurs recently, so that's cool. I went up to Montana to go preparing on dinosaurs, so yeah! And I've also been doing other various paleo stuff. So I've been busy, but I've been doing cool stuff, but I'm sorry I haven't released anything to my channel. Today I'm going to be counting down my top 10 favorite dinosaurs of all time. This is a little game being played around. Calico Jackosaur started this by listing his favorite dinosaurs, and then he encouraged AK Rex to do the same. Then, AK Rex passed down the torch to me. So thanks, AK! Make sure to check out those paleo channels, they're pretty cool. I'll let you know right off the bat that all these dinosaurs are theropods. I just find them a lot more interesting than any other sort of dinosaur. This list isn't necessarily in any order. These are all just the dinosaurs I could put on in my top 10 list. With that being said, let's all get started. Number 10, Spinosaurus. I have mixed feelings towards this dinosaur. I'm a really big fan of the Jurassic Park films, as you guys know, so obviously when I think of this guy, I instantly think of his portrayal in Jurassic Park. I really don't like how he killed the T-Rex, but otherwise in the movie the Spinosaurus was really cool and gives us as fans a lot to think about, particularly whether or not he was a hybrid, which I might make a video on. But now, paleontologically speaking, Spinosaurus is still incredibly fascinating. There's evidence that he was one of the only semi-aquatic dinosaurs to ever live, as he had many crocodilian traits, like vertebrae adapted for swimming, and sensory organs near the tip of the snout to help locate his way through water. There's a lot of debate around this particular dinosaur as well, which I think is really fun to be a part of, and it really stimulates the brain and gets you thinking. So that's one of the reasons I love this guy. Number 9, Ceratosaurus. Ceratosaurus was yet another really cool and fascinating dinosaur. The feature that makes this creature cool for most people is the horn on the end of its skull. You don't get to see many theropods with nose horns like this guy had. The thing that makes this guy really cool for me is how large his fangs were, actually. Proportionally, they may have been the largest teeth any dinosaur ever had. What's so cool about him is I really wondered what the use of those teeth were for. The teeth were absolutely huge, but they're also thin and very sharp, so generally when something is thin and sharp, that means that it has a weaker bite force. So I wonder if it was something akin to Allosaurus, where it like open its jaw huge and like slam itself against its prey, or if it was a piscivore, since reportedly it had good vertebrae for swimming. Now I don't have any scientific citations for that, but some paleontologists have stated stuff like that in the past, like Dr. Robert T. Becker, for example. Number 8, Acrocanthosaurus. Acrocanthosaurus was a fascinating animal. A distant relative of the once powerful Allosaurus and the cousin of the fearsome Giganotosaurus, this beast roamed around North America around the early Cretaceous. This animal was huge, getting to be about 38 feet long. They were also very bulky, and I'd imagine that they ruled by force in their day. I really loved the portrayal of these guys in the wonderful novel written by Dr. Robert T. Becker called Raptor Red. It was nice to see a different large theropod used in a dinosaur story other than T-Rex, and Becker did a great job with making them intimidating creatures, particularly with this one awesome part of the book where an Acrocanthosaurus bursts out of a sand dune. Again, the book is awesome, you should really give it a read. Number 7, Carnotaurus. Carnotaurus is a very popular dinosaur. He isn't seen too much in pop culture, which that's going to change this summer, but people do recognize him. I mean, a carnivorous dinosaur who has bull-like horns is pretty hard to forget. His name even means meat-eating bull. He was built to be very lean and was potentially very fast as well. We also know that this dinosaur is likely very scaly, as scoot impressions have been found on him as well as other belosaurids the family Carnotaurus belongs to. What's funny is that everyone makes fun of T-Rex for having tiny arms when Carnotaurus' arms were basically non-existent. All the belosaurids really had hilariously microscopic arms. You still wouldn't want to poke him with a stick, though. Number 6, Allosaurus. Big Al was a badass dinosaur. He had quite a lot to deal with in his time. The prey Allosaurus hunted was very, very dangerous, and in some instances, the prey was even larger than the Allosaur. Two of the most easily recognizable animals Allosaurus would have tried to eat were Stegosaurus and Apatosaurus. Stegosaurus could have grown up to 30 feet, and was armored to the core. The most difficult part of the Stegosaur Allosaurus would have had to have dealt with would be the thagomizers, the spikes at the end of the tail. There have been cases where holes have been found in Allosaur bones, and those Stegosaur spikes fit perfectly through the wounds. In some cases, the Allosaurs died from the wound. When an Allosaur had to hunt an Apatosaur, they had to deal with a whole other level of danger. Apatosaur tails could whip at a very high speed, and they could potentially even break the sound barrier. Allosaur skulls have been found crushed, possibly by apatosaur tails. Allosaurus had it rough, yet they still made it in their time, which makes them quite an impressive dinosaur species. Number 5. Baryonyx. I've done a video already covering this guy. He was pretty cool. He was like other Spinosaurs, he ate fish. However, there's evidence of him eating an iguanodon, as iguanodon scales were found inside of him. Plus, he had a huge claw, and most likely that claw was probably used for fishing, but, you never know if he could have killed some land animals with it. And that's why I think Baryonyx is really cool, is because he may have been an exception to eating exclusively fish for Spinosaurids. Number 4. Dakota Raptor. Dakota Raptor was only recently discovered, back in 2015 in fact. The skeleton was found nowhere near to be complete, but enough bones were found to determine that there was a large dromaeosaurid dinosaur in the Hell Creek Formation during the late Cretaceous period. Here's a little fun fact for you. Skeletons of a complete Dakota Raptor shown off at museums have been simulated by mixing in the known bones from Dakota Raptor with the Dromaeosaurus. I got this from the Rocky Mountain Dinosaur Resource Center. I'm not just making it up here. This dinosaur had a more lean makeup, so it was likely designed for speed. The coolest thing that comes to my mind when I think of this guy is the thought that he and T-Rex may have sparred against each other many, many years ago. Number 3. Utahraptor. This dinosaur is just pure awesome. Utahraptor was roughly 8 feet tall and 16 feet long. This raptor was built to be more stocky than other dromaeosaurs, and was probably a lot more muscly and could pack a good kick. You really wouldn't want to have messed with this particular raptor. If he kicked you with his sickle claw, he could have given you a 6-foot-long gash. These guys most likely climb trees as well, so you should make sure to watch your head too. The way this creature has been portrayed over the years has changed so much, and this creature only gets more intriguing as we learn more about it. And number 2, Nanotyrannus. Okay, I know what you're thinking. Cretaceous Cast, Nanotyrannus isn't a dinosaur. I'm just going to say that that's not what this episode is about. In the future I'm going to upload a video on this subject, and yeah, I believe Nanotyrannus is its own thing. I think it's an incredibly fascinating debate on whether or not it was real nonetheless. The reason I think this creature is so cool is because it's kind of like a real-life Indoraptor. It's like both a raptor and a T-Rex mixed together. Nanos could have been very aggressive as well, as seen with the dueling dinosaurs fossil. It could have been taking on a ceratopsian, which is a really big deal. I mean, they were a force to be reckoned with. They definitely had guts. And not to mention, they also had large arms for a Tyrannosaur or a dinosaur. I'd imagine that they'd be good at gripping onto prey as they ate them. And I just love how slender Nanotyrannus is. Just the morphology of this dinosaur is very beautiful. And it's also lethal as well. And my number 1 favorite dinosaur of all time is Tyrannosaurus Rex. If you guys have been watching my videos for a little bit now, you can tell that T-Rex is my favorite dinosaur. It was just such a fascinating creature and an absolute beast. There were larger theropods than T-Rex, but it makes up for that in bulk and deadliness. There's so many specimens of this animal out there that you have tons to work with. We can research this animal until the cows come home, and that's what I love so much about it. If I want to study a particular subject about this beast out there, it's there, and I'll probably make a video on it. Not to mention, this animal brings up a lot of debate, which is fun to be a part of. Well, yes, this is pretty much everyone's favorite dinosaur. I feel like it deserves that. It was such a majestic and monstrous animal. It deserves the respect and love it gets. So there you go, guys. Those are my top 10 favorite dinosaurs. I'd like to relay this game on to Klayton Fioriti, probably the best Jurassic Park channel out there. The way this game works is you say response to Cretaceous Cast in the title, as well as the name of whoever you pass the game on to as well. In the description, take all of the people who have been part of this game, which I will list in mine as well, to show how far it's gone around. Alright guys, that wraps up this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I can't wait to talk to y'all again.